Yeah, this is me building a $4 million a year business in public. The way these videos always go is I start them with some quick comment Q&A on YouTube. That's just to deliver you guys some value and then also answer your questions and help my engagement at the same time. Then I build and strategize in public so you can see exactly what I'm doing in my $4 million a year business before finally showing you guys my own growth stats across YouTube, Instagram, and my products. So to make a long story short, I don't just run one YouTube channel, I run two. So this is my other one. It's much bigger, and that's where I started. And then this over here is my daily updates channel where you guys are at. So definitely check out both. No reason not to, right? So I start them all with the Q&As. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom of my whole like YouTube stack here, then just answer the last question that I see. If you guys have any more that you want to add to the stack, feel free. I answer more or less everything. You could rage bait the hell out of me. We got a lot of those. You could tell me, about whatever, some dude that mentioned me on the Diary of a CEO podcast if you want to. You could ask me what I had for breakfast this morning. Whatever the heck you want to know, I'm more than happy to provide. Anyway, last question was from Chatura Aditya, who says, "Hey Nick, I just came across you on the Diary of a CEO podcast where Alex mentioned you and I've been loving your content. Quick question. I know this might already be covered in the school community Q&A. Are there any alternatives or workarounds for using Stripe in countries where it is not available?" Yeah, there are for sure. You can't use Stripe in a country that it is not available, to be clear. Okay. So I don't know, if you are somewhere in like Bangladesh, for instance, probability of you being able to use Stripe without like a verified business or without going through a bunch of steps is pretty low. But there are obviously alternatives to that. Payoneer, a lot of people use PayPal. Some people are using a competing platform to school actually for payment processing called WAP. Like there are a variety of different ways you could do this, but I would definitely not like feel constricted where if you can't use Stripe, you can't run a business. Stripe is just a payment processor. It's a great payment processor and it's one that I use all the time and I really like it. But it's just part of a functional business. Okay, what a way to get social proof. Thank you. How can I scale a service-based design business to 10K a month as somebody in India? Thank you. Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. Service-based design business. What sort of design businesses are that aren't service-based? For sure, you could scale a business like that to $10,000 a month. I want to show you this company here called Design Joy. The founder of this company, it's a solo design company. So solopreneur, one man that fulfills all the work. The founder of this company does over $100,000 a month. So he does over 10 times what your end goal is. He does it all himself. And I think he does it in somewhere between like 6 to 8 hours a day. So here's how he does it. You basically join a monthly design club. In the monthly design club, you get access to a Trello board. That Trello board is shared between you and him. And what you can do is every day, however often you want, you could submit a design request using the Trello board and then change the status to, assigned. When this occurs, you are now assigning him to a design task. You'll scope it out, you'll add some details, you'll give him some examples of what you want, whatever. And then what he does is he will take that and within 48 hours, he will take your request and then turn it into a working design. Then if you have any suggestions or whatever, then you can submit the revision request directly on the Trello card and then he'll have 48 hours to revise it over and over and over again. So this guy, because of this like templated, systematized project management structure that he's built for himself, he is capable of operating at probably like 6 to 7 times the labor productivity of an average designer. Most designers, even good ones, aren't going to make more than $5,000, maybe $10,000 a month doing something like that. He does over 100,000, right? And he does it with really good margins. Works really well for him. So what are the keys here? The keys are to have very straightforward, simple deliverables. Like in his case, one request at a time. You could submit a limited number of requests, but I'll do one at a time. Then 48-hour delivery and 48-hour revision period. Unlimited brands, unlimited companies, whatever the hell you're submitting doesn't matter. That's fine. It's just me. I do it all in Webflow. I have an unlimited stock photo library. You can have multiple people use this board. It's not just you. And then you can pause or cancel anytime. Then his actual project manager is very straightforward and very simple. This isn't the only design studio, I want to say, that has come up like this. Since he did this and he proved it's possible, since he basically ran the proverbial 4-minute mile of solopreneur businesses, I've gotten heavily inspired by it. And that's one of the ways that I hit 72K a month in AI and automation. And a lot of other people have done very, very similar things to him. If you go and check out Bake Design, for instance, they have a very, very similar business model. Design's much easier, obviously, than something else. But they're charging $7,837, and it's more or less the exact same thing. There's like 30 or 40 of these like major design as a service businesses out there nowadays. So it doesn't matter that you are an Indian. It doesn't matter that you are from a particular country or whatever. The only thing that matters is the quality of the deliverable. Sure, some people maybe in the West going to look down upon outputs that you produce because they will think that they are worse or whatever. I mean, like, yeah, probably. They probably will initially. And I'm not saying that to offend you, but just to be pragmatic here. Clearly, you're thinking the same by asking a question like that. But, once you make it past that initial hurdle and deliver a lot of perceived value, they're not going to care. If anything, they'll think that they're getting their work at a discount of some kind, right? Because instead of $5,000 a month, you charge $24.95 or something. Okay, so that's how you do it. And you get 4 clients at, let's say, a $2,500 a month package or something for this design service. If you demonstrate that you were extremely keen and very, very good at this stuff, that's not a far cry, very difficult for you to do whatsoever. Just requires ambition, consistency, and a little bit of tenacity, right? You do that, and you'll be at your $10,000 a month, and it'll be pretty stable. Brett's business is pretty stable from what I can see. Okay, Harshit gives me some hearts. Hey, Nick, I have a list of about 1,300 numbers in the UAE and Gulf region. I'll be reaching out to them soon. However, I'd like you to give me your expectations based on your experiences. Great video, by the way. You know what? My expectations surrounding the 1,300 phone numbers that you have in the UAE and Gulf region are you were going to convert 0 of them. That's about it. I've called 1,300 people and converted 0 of them before. When I was at the start line of my business, I did over 2 times that many people. And then I ended up with one really shitty client that I later ended up making like $0, less than $10 from. After all was said and done. So I have 0 expectations for you, and I think you should have 0 expectations for yourself. You should just try grinding out the numbers. You're going to have to learn a better cold call script. You're going to have to learn like whether or not cold calling even makes sense for your industry and for the group of people. And the only way you're going to do that is actually like working through some of those 1,300 numbers, okay? Generally speaking, though, by the way, just so you know, like 30 to 50% of these numbers, just, if they're anything like the ones that I get, they just won't pick up or they'll be unavailable. That means that like of an hour of call time, like in terms of the amount of time you're actually going to be on the phone with like real decision makers, you're going to be on the phone for like 15 minutes, like max of the full hour. So just be wary of that, right? It's not very efficient. It's not, that's one of the reasons I don't do that anymore. Okay. Path says, I'm creating a school community and a YouTube channel, having trouble deciding what I will post on YouTube for free versus what content I will keep as part of my school curriculum. Is there a rule you follow or any advice you can give? Yeah, I don't believe in gatekeeping knowledge because I think we are leaving the knowledge economy now and knowledge is no longer the moat. So I give away all of my knowledge for free. If you want implementation of it and if you want coaching and accountability, that's when you join my community. And that's usually what most of my content is about within my community. So that's the main rule, I would say. What did you have for breakfast this morning? I may or may not have purchased an acai bowl. I'm trying to build a SaaS business, building a new video editor for short form content. How do you start marketing outreach to get people to sign up for our waitlist before we launch? Well, what I would do first is before you even like work on a SaaS or something, I'd build some distribution. So if you have distribution, you can start whatever freaking business you want. You'll instantly have a pre-validated set of people that'd be interested, right? That's what I would do. I would spend way less time focusing on building a product, and I'd spend way more time focusing on building interest and eyeballs and marketing surrounding a product. So, you're talking about how you're trying to build a SaaS business, you're trying to do this, blah, blah, blah. I would personally, I would not even try to build a SaaS business before I try and build distribution. That's what I would do. Anyway, how would I actually do it in practice? You have a variety of methods. I would just like iterate through all of them, inbound socials. So I would try all social media platforms like YouTube, like Instagram, like TikTok, like X. I would iterate through all of those. I try some outbound marketing methods as well. So if you have, let's say, it's a video editor, right? So maybe reach out to companies that publish content routinely and offer them some sort of like group, a big bucket trial discount where, if they sign up, they get X licenses for a certain amount of money. I would just iterate through all of those marketing methods until you get it. Mike says, change the display photo of a podcast to a real photo of you two. You both have brands. Leverage them. I think he's right. So we're doing that with the AI Millionaire podcast. Gonna give that a go. Also, never knew Jack was a lawyer. I'd be interested to mention that in the intro as well. Yeah, we are now, which is great. I'm getting my notes together as I prepare to start my own school community, and this is such great info. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much, Fopo. Hey, Nick, I have a question. How will AI videos be in the future? Like, how will ads, films, or music videos be made using AI? Will I be able to do this in the long term and make good earnings? What should I keep in mind? Give me some tips. I know some people who are making 5 to 10K a month with this, or 10K a month with this, and they're also new to it. I don't really fully understand what you mean by this. How will AI videos be in the future? How will ads or music videos be made using AI? Well, they'll be made much faster and for a lot less money than people are currently using them or making them with. You won't need production teams. You won't need scripts, really. AI will do most of the scripting for you. You're not going to need like audio teams because everything will be automatically fixed up and perfect. So how is it going to be made? It's going to be made mostly through natural language. So the people that are going to crush with this stuff are going to be the people that understand how to prompt these models to deliver the best results. And eventually, that skill will fade too as models become better at prompting models than people do. So that's my main takeaway there. You can definitely make $10,000 a month with this right now. I don't know how much longer you'd be able to realistically, maybe like a couple of years. I'm definitively or definitely a beginner in AI automation agencies and even building automations. However, I do know some basic skills and have watched hours of YouTube and built 5 or so different automations. Basically, what I want to know is, what is my next step? Your next step, to be clear, Javen, is you just need to put yourself in front of customers and start articulating needs, problems, and then the benefits of your solution and how your solution can solve those needs and problems. So you just need to put yourself in front of a bunch of people that have money in their hands and that are willing to pay for something that you might be able to now feasibly provide. There is no other path to this, and it is quite messy, but it is akin to jumping into a gladiatorial arena with a bunch of tigers. You're going to have to do it, and you're going to have to slay your first tiger. And after you slay your first tiger, they'll shower you in praise and bread and circus and so on and so forth. But you're not going to be able to do that until you get your first result. So yeah, that's your next step, man. I would sign up to an Upwork profile or a freelancer.com profile or one of these platforms just because they're the simplest and easiest to use. If you have no experience selling any sort of service before, if you've never done it, you will have no idea how to articulate the benefits. You'll have no idea, how to actually sell a need and stuff like that. So while the total amount of money you could make using a platform like this is lower than somebody that a platform, or rather an approach that is totally cold, you can bootstrap yourself using a platform, treat yourself as an API endpoint that just delivers services for specs for, a reasonably low level of pay, probably like half of what you could get if you go outside of the platform. And then once you have experience and money, you could take that to a cold outbound platform like cold email, or maybe an inbound platform like ads or something like that to build a more sustainable method. Okay. Arian says, how do I get clients? I feel like I'm lost. I've tried everything. I've done this for 3 or 4 months. So how do I get clients? It sucks for me to say, but usually, and I see a lot of this every single day because, I run a community that's specifically oriented around the problem of helping beginners get their first client. Usually when people come to me and they're very exasperated like this, my initial response is, well, it doesn't matter how much time you spent doing it. How much outreach have you done? And when I frame it like that and I get the answer back, it is usually unsurprising why they have not succeeded. They will say, I've done this for 3-4 months. And then I'll say, wow, that's a lot of time. So how many those Upwork apps have you sent? How many cold emails have you sent? How many cold DMs have you sent? How many community posts have you sent? And a lot of the time, Arian, I get responses that are like, well, I've sent 23 Upwork apps. I've sent 350 cold emails. I've sent 25 cold DMs, and I've made 10 community posts. And then I say, okay, well, just do 15 times that, and then you'll win. And then they go and they do it, and then they win. So the main point I'm trying to get at here is success requires a lot more action than you probably think. If you actually sent 23 Upwork apps in the 3 or 4 months, I would consider that extraordinarily underperforming, because my recommendation in the first month is to send 165 within my program. 165, 23. Realistically, you could have done that in 2 days, not 4 months. You know what I mean? So it's almost always a volume problem in actuality. And I mean, it's not necessarily a volume problem. It's a you problem. It's your expectations are out of alignment with what sort of inputs are required in order to achieve the sort of outputs that you want. If it's the first time you're doing anything, it's going to be very difficult, obviously. It would be unreasonable for you to expect that you would know what you're doing and be able to find success in, 2 hours of actually submitting Upwork apps or whatever. So that'd be my main takeaway. How do you get clients? Like there is no magical method here. Everybody that is getting clients in my program, they use methods just like yours. They just find creative and interesting ways. And I want to say, like, they build systems in their own life that enable them to output more than you are here. And then when they don't see results, they don't just quit, and then they don't get exasperated, and they don't start thinking, oh no, this isn't working. What the hell do I need? I need to find something else. They just keep on doing it until they win. Okay, Leonid says, what do you think about how MCP can change the AI industry? What's figuring out this technology this week and it's mind-blowing? Yeah, I don't really think it's that mind-blowing. I don't think it's that crazy. It's just like a standardized protocol for agents to do things and call tools and whatnot. It's not really that mind-blowing, to be honest. So those are my thoughts on it, Leonid. I think eventually it'll streamline how we build systems and stuff for sure, but I wouldn't really call it like mind-blowing necessarily. And at community engagement questions says, Joshua, I built a 1.2K community where I give away what most people charge an arm and a leg for. People love the resources, but I don't know how to get people to naturally post and create content in the community. Could it be because it's free? I train members to join only to get free stuff and leave. Appreciate these daily updates a ton. It'd be tough to see. Let me just jump on your thing and then actually get into your community. So it's called the Automation Jumpstart Community. There's 8 members. No, this can't be the one. You probably have a free one, right? No, you don't have a free one. Is this that, really? 1,200 community members? All right. Well, anyway, if it's on school, I'll be able to see your activity by clicking this button. Well, total daily number of activities is about 1/30th of what mine is, I would say. So right off the bat, if your total daily activity is 1/30th of what mine is at half of the amount, that means you're really doing about 1/15th. So what's your engagement? My engagement is X. Is your engagement greater than X over 15? If so, you're actually doing good. Your community is pretty engaged. And if you want to increase engagement, you just need to engage more, being the owner of the community. So you need to ask people questions. You need to show up more often. You need to send comments, DMs to people. You need to create more content. You need to do stuff like that. Yeah, like I don't really have a magic formula here. Hopefully it's clear. I'm not like the magic formula provider. What I am is the accountability provider. So I call you out on it if you're not doing enough. And just based off of the member count, I don't know if that's the account that you're using to respond or manage your community, but yeah, like engagement-wise, your numbers are much, much, much lower than mine, despite being a sizable fraction of my current community size. So yeah, I would definitely engage more. And then encourage people to engage as well. Like encourage people to form micro relationships in the community. When they join, when they onboard, for instance, don't just say, okay, you're onboarded, fantastic. Say like, hey, leave comments on 3 people's posts and like help them, scroll through the whatever bug and help page. And if you understand how to solve something, like comment on one post, it's good for you. It'll add some authority to you. People will respect you more. People will like you. It's a good way for you to introduce yourself by providing value, their career opportunities, like make it a no-brainer for them to actually engage, and then they will. Nick, what's your answer when a client asks how long it'll take? You said probably 2-3 weeks, and you said, I'm hiring you to save me time. I can learn N8N in a week and build it on myself. Wow. Well, can he? I mean, if he can, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, like, you can, but like, why are you paying me money, man? Like, why did you even make this job post? It sounds like their expectations are that they want it really fast, right? So it sounds like, I mean, there's like a million things this could be. They could just be a poor client and they didn't scope the request properly. They didn't scope their needs properly. They didn't tell you. You could be a bad salesperson. Maybe they told you all of these things, or maybe they allowed you to get that information, but you did not take that information. They could just be like a royal asshole. Yeah, you could just be presenting the vibe that you are like the sort of person who is easily walked over. And then so people will start taking advantage of you and walking over you. Yeah, there's so many different things it could be here, Ahmed, but in generally, when a client asks how long it will take, I will tell them how long I think it will take plus like 30% or so time to give myself a buffer. And I will usually do some like 4 business day, multiple of 4 business days if it's on a Monday, because then that buys me a whole weekend to do the fulfillment. That's the strategy there. Thank you very much. Send 123KO, super helpful. When you use the audio transcription reply to post, you then copy the transcription and post it as your reply? No, I actually just do it directly in my browser. I use this tool called With Aqua. And if I just hold down the function key, like when I dictate, it'll go directly in here. Unfortunately, it screws up my audio, so I'm not going to do it right now. But yeah, please put timestamps. Oh boy, we got the timestamp crew up. And again, definitely didn't expect to see Nick posing like Robert Downey Jr. when I clicked on this video. I'm sorry, does Robert Downey Jr. just stare into a camera or something? Like, bro, what's happening with your channel? With 200 views, you got 1.2K likes. Fix it. We don't want to lose so much sauce just because so much jealousy. Thank you, Deshaun. I mean, I can't control that, unfortunately. Somebody's trying to get me banned, and that's just how it is. Hey, Nick, how can I make an email query autoresponder? So my idea is the agent will sniff through all the email and identify any inquiries automatically and reply back with an answer after a few minutes. Well, I don't even think you need an agent for this, to be honest. All you would do, okay, logically, is you need something to watch your inbox. So when new emails come in, you need some way for that to trigger your flow. Simplest way in make.com is a mail hook. Simplest way in N8N is a polling watch emails node, which you can use as your trigger. From there, you need some mechanism to digest the emails and then do something with them. Simplest way to do that is just drag and drop a large language model node in Make. It's like the OpenAI family, and N8N is the OpenAI family. GPT-5 is the current best model, so I just have GPT-5 do it, and then just give it some simple instructions. Hey, this is an email from X, Y, and Z person. My goals here are to X, Y, and Z. Answer like this, X, Y, and Z with templates. Output it as plain text. And then what you need is you need something to actually respond to the email or draft it or do whatever the hell else you want to do. So in Make and N8N, they're very simple analogs that allow you to do this. In Make, it's the send email node, send email module, and then in N8N, it's also I think it's the send email node as well. So that's how you do it. And if you want to like wait a while, then you would very simply and straightforwardly just add a wait node or a sleep. Okay, awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much. Just reading through this post here from Cypext. He says, would love to hear your opinion on my next steps. I signed up for Fiverr and created some documents about what I do and my 3 versions of lead handling systems. I'm waiting to get my tax ID to create a business account. Then I want to spend money on credit so I can apply for jobs. Until I get my ID, I'm optimizing my Fiverr and trying to sell one-time products to get some money. And when I manage to earn 5 to 10K, I'd like to start my own agency and get a long-term cash flow. What do you think? Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Hey, Wendy, I've been loving your pod with Jack. Question, when you're writing on your Lucid board, are you using a pencil? What's your setup? I think he uses an XP pen and Presentify app. Yes, that is correct. Thank you very much, guys. Oof. Am I understanding this correctly? You used other companies' social proof to get clients for yourself, or did you give them the work? I did give a couple of them the work, yeah, but I did then use their social proof to land clients for myself as well. That was what was strategic about it. Thank you very much, Rovid. Okay, guys, just because this is kind of an advertisement for myself, I will leave this here, and then I'll answer it tomorrow. I really appreciate your guys' questions today, and we're coming up on 20 minutes, so let me just cut straight to the chase. We're doing a lot of agency work these days. I'm setting up the agency for scale. So I'd like to hit $100,000 a month with the agency again. We're not $100,000 a month right now. We landed a couple big contracts, as you guys probably know. We now work with a prince, or rather the I don't know if it's like the family office of the prince, basically, which is pretty cool. We work with a bunch of clients, really. Small to mid-sized, I would say, nothing really major. But I want to work with more. So I'm building some infrastructure alongside my business partner to scale the agency better. We got a couple of really simple systems. One simple system is kind of the catch-22. When you run a brand and you're driving inbound lead flow, it's like most of the time people like you, right? I mean, you guys like me. That's why you're still listening to me yap on after 21 minutes. So like if you are an agency and you want me to do business with you, not necessarily somebody else in my company. And so this is called the handoff problem, and it's very prevalent, but it is a required thing to solve in order for any company to grow that has like the face of the company, as I do. So, I've solved this in various ways in the past, but the way that I'm solving it now is I'm basically going to be taking an advisory role on all the projects that come in and then providing some high-level input, presumably or probably through Loom videos, just because that's the simplest and best way to kind of respect my time and scale it. So instead of me, coming on calls weekly or being a part of the sales process or whatever, what I'm going to do is when I get a new intake request, I'm going to record a quick Loom video going over the scope, as well as talking about how our agency is positioned to solve their problem. This is going to take me between 3 to 5 minutes to do every time. I'll then find some case studies and similar projects we've done just to really instill home the fact that we know what we're doing and we can definitely solve this for you. And then I'm going to edify my business partner, Noah, and then I'm going to talk about how great our team is, because this is what more or less every one of these companies has to do. You have to talk about how fantastic your team is, and you have to make them believe that your team is just as incredible as you are if you are to have your team fulfill the request. Then I'll talk about my role as an advisor, basically on the project. And then, I'll just talk about, the deliverables that I will provide, some sort of Loom video every now and then, despite the fact that I won't be the main point of contact on the project. So we built out that architecture the other day. We now have a little Slack channel with incoming notifications where I have a simple SOP where once a day I just go through, I check, I record a Loom, I send it, problem solved. My partner then handles a lot of the communication surrounding things like scoping and whatnot, which is nice. Built out a couple scripts for that, which is pretty cool. We are rebranding our website. We're just about done now. So it's going to look very sexy. It's going to include me and my business partner. And, when we scale up the team and we have things like directors and whatnot, I'm also going to include them on there just for both added social proof legitimacy and positioning them as same as me. So it's not like some crazy hierarchy where I'm up at the top and everybody's down at the bottom, but we're all sort of equal in that way, which is pretty fun. We just have to solve a couple of things with one of the case study pages. I wanted a really cool, sexy animation on it. I know I'm a piece of shit for this because I tell everybody that websites don't matter, but I'm just having somebody create something for me now. So they'll figure that out. And then I have a lot of requests that I've gotten over the course of the last couple months that I just have been unable to attend to because I had not scaled up the agency and I hadn't really built the infrastructure to take on these requests. So I'm going to try reactivating as many of these as possible by going through top to bottom and just recording videos, talking about how I can solve their problems. If you think about it, my acquisition method is primarily through video at this point because, I'm just pretty good at video. So I might as well try reactivating through video too. That's the medium that people like me on the most. So I'm going to use it to get the people back. So that's the 80-20 of kind of what I'm doing here. It's going to be pretty fun. You guys want to see I think it's new home or home new. If you guys want to see some of the landing page, oh geez. One sec. Just going to pull this up. I'll show you guys what some of it looks like right now. Where the hell is, oh, right, here we go. Oh, it is home new. Oh, yeah, my bad. Okay, there we go. So it's going to look something like this. It's going to look something like this. Got to zoom in a little bit more. We have a bunch of placeholder images here. That's supposed to be me. That's me, guys. That's what I look like. Yeah, for anybody that's just listening, it does not look like me. We got a couple stock images. For whatever reason, one of the logos here isn't appearing, which is annoying. We got some case studies down below. Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to look nice. It's going to look really nice. Oh, and it looks like we finally fixed the little animation that I wanted to. That's pretty sick. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of case studies. We're probably going to remove pricing from the page. We'll have like a little about, it's going to be nice. It's going to look professional. And then when I route people to it, it'll be, generally considered positive, as opposed to now when I route people to it, they're just like, oh, okay, this is like a one-pager about who you are, but I already kind of know who you are, right? Like I want more information. That's why I'm here. So that's cool. Let's do some brand stats really quickly. Then I'll wrap today up. I also have a couple of onboarding calls with some writers that I'm hiring. That's going to be pretty fun to do. So if you are one of the writers that I'm hiring, great having you. I'm really looking forward to pumping up the content. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm going to be starting posting on all platforms significantly more often. And so I've hired some writers to help me with this. Writers that are like business consultants, management consultants, people that understand what it is that I do, obviously, but then can also articulate about things like that, which is going to be really fun. And wow, big spike in the daily updates yesterday. Interesting. And I'm going to help them. I'm going to have them help me create content for like LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be fun. Building a simple SOP to do this, like basically the SOP is I'm going to send a brief every morning, and then they're just going to do something with the brief for the content, then return me it before the end of the day. And then the next day, I'm going to take that, make any additions or changes I need to, and then post it. So in that way, like I am going to be the high level brain of the operation while still extending my tendrils out. And then a very, very simple SOP. I'm not going to win any awards for this, but I'm basically just going to take a brief and they're going to help me text expand that into like high quality pieces of content across all mediums. And then if it's video, I'm obviously going to have to record content on the video, which just kind of muddles it up, but that's just how it is. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. I think my main issue previously was I just did not take full creative control over I don't want to say creative control, but like I became a little bit divorced from the strategy. But I think strategically, like I'm pretty solid. So I should probably retain as much ownership of that as humanly possible, just so I can continue talking in my voice and so on and so forth. Anyway, hopefully that brain dump made sense to some of you guys. Catch y'all later, and I will see you tomorrow.